Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is the first episode of the arrangement where essentially we're taking tracks that we've been working on to the completion. Finish our beats. Let's take a look. But what I like to do is I like to make a lot of beats ahead of time and then come back later when I'm having beat block to finish. However, if I get a little bit too far ahead of myself, I always like to double back in order to finish the track, so I don't get too far behind. So what we're actually working on is pretty old. Don't be a procrastinator. Don't be like me. We're gonna open up our first beat for the night. So we're about to find out if we like this or not. So it turns out we like the beat. So let's go ahead and start putting the track together. What I like to do is organize. So that's gonna be our intro. Let's go pull this down. This is gonna be our verse. We're about to find out how well I can talk and work on this at the same time. All right, there's a million ways to do this. Or you haven't worked on your track for a little bit, it's just getting familiar with everything. So how I like to do it is I like to leave all my instruments onto the left-hand side and then my percussive instruments onto the right-hand side. My SFX, I'm gonna add a little bit of reverb, so I'm gonna drop Native Instruments ROM on here. Okay, to explain what I'm doing, essentially what you're trying to avoid when you're making music is avoid something to being too repetitive, right? And the rule of thumb with that is try to avoid 2 and 4 bar drum patterns. You might be able to get away, I mean, you really want to avoid 2 bar melody patterns as well. You want to stick with a 4, ideally an 8, and something that's going to resolve itself on that last measure. So, but if you really like the way that your verse is going, then it's really easy to start extending your kicks and your snares to 8 bar patterns, so you can kind of add a little bit of a resolve, so your beat kind of comes back around a full circle. So essentially that's what I'm doing. I'm adding a little bit of variety because I didn't give myself a whole lot to work with when I initially made the beat. And this is all about, you know, future planning. Sometimes you're just in the zone and you're making a melody, but you really need to focus on the long term. How much easier is it going to be if I just go ahead and do what I need to do initially, and that is extend it out to an 8 bar, give myself a drum fill at the end of the measure. So let's go ahead and listen. I like how that resolves. Okay, so the best way to do this is to highlight, click, press tab, and it's gonna drop on there for you. So now we're in our arrangement view. Same thing. You can actually insert another, let's say, let's call it a MIDI track. And that'll give me access to this tab. That's the verse, now this is the hook. Okay, so If you notice everything's grayed out, easy way, just press that button. That's going to bring you access now to playing the audio from your arrangement. So let's start from the top. Okay, so now I have a general layout. So we're going to tab back over and we're going to start by doing a slight mixing. Best way to start with a mix is start on your kick, solo. You want to see a little better, just pull up. I usually put my kick right at the minus 12 dB. And then we'll go bass next. Turn it up. That's a little subjective, but I like to pull my 808s just a little bit lower. And then we're going to work our way over to our lead. And I like to put it right around negative 24. Let's go bring in our hook. And then let's pull in our clap. Your claps kind of cut straight through your mix, so I like pulling them a little bit down, a little bit closer to the 18. Now this is all rough mix. I mean, I guess you could put a crazy amount of effort into your mix, and that's fine too. If you have, this is just what I like to do to kind of put it together, give me a little bit better sound, and if we're going in to record on it, it's easier to lay vocals on. But then honestly, pro tip, get yourself a nice audio engineer. Send everything out for a real person to mix it down. Unless you have years of experience, just my personal opinion, a clean mix is just fine. Save that. Honestly, this is where you're gonna probably spend a whole lot of time organizing, putting everything together. My philosophy on a beat though, it's not done until the song is done. Like, yeah, you can spend forever arranging. I think this is a great fundamental to have. Right now, we go intro, right into our verse, into our first hook. I start subtracting a little bit more into our second verse, and then our third verse, we're pulling out quite a bit, and we're keeping the hook lead. Just something that I like to do. There's a bunch of different ways you can put together your arrangement, but this is, you know, just a little bit of a breakdown for you guys. Now notice there's not a lot of tracks on here. Not every track needs to have, not every song needs to have like 50 million tracks. You can do whatever you like. Try different ways to switch it up. We're going to save that. Super simple track, but that's okay. Sometimes I like simple a little bit better personally. I like to drop in our ozone and then tab over so you guys can see what I'm doing. I'll hit Master Assistant, intensity, medium. I'll hit next, and then we're gonna play. We're gonna play essentially our we're essentially playing our loudest part of the song. Now that should pull everything up. We're gonna give it one more listen. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, smash the thumbs up button. And if you like this episode, I want to put a link over to the beat. If you want to hear the beat, it's going to be on that side. I'll put some other videos over there for you. See you on the next one. Have a good night.